Her Majesty loved history and tradition, and our inspiration is the original design of the park by Sir John Nash in the 19th century.
Imagine a wedding dress costing more than a luxury mansion. Sounds unreal, right? Some gowns go far beyond fashion, becoming symbols of extreme luxury and craftsmanship. Covered in diamonds, woven with gold, and built through months of detailed handwork, they push value into the millions. So what makes a single dress worth that much? From royal masterpieces to celebrity showstoppers and crystal-covered creations, these 12 gowns aren't just outfits. They're history, and one still holds a record no one has ever broken. Number 12, the royal dress bought with ration coupons. When people think of royal weddings, they often picture unlimited luxury and extravagance. Queen Elizabeth II's wedding was certainly historic, but one detail reveals how even royalty faced hardship. When Princess Elizabeth married Prince Philip on November 20, 1947, Britain was still recovering from World War II. Food, clothing, and basic goods were strictly rationed, making lavish spending impossible for most families. Despite her status, Elizabeth was not exempt. She needed clothing ration coupons to obtain materials for her wedding dress. The government granted her extra coupons, and many citizens even mailed their own to help. However, these had to be returned because ration coupons could not legally be shared, though the gesture showed deep public support. The gown was designed by renowned British designer Norman Hartnell, who wanted it to symbolize hope and renewal. Inspired by Botticelli's painting Primavera, he created a design filled with delicate floral embroidery representing new beginnings. The ivory Duchesse satin dress featured a fitted bodice, long sleeves, and an elegant silhouette that became one of the most iconic bridal designs of the 20th century. Thousands of seed pearls and crystals were sewn into the embroidery, giving the gown a soft shimmer without losing its refined simplicity. Even the long train balanced grandeur with restraint, creating a striking yet tasteful appearance. At Westminster Abbey. On the wedding day, there was a brief scare when Queen Mary's fringed tiara snapped just hours before the ceremony. Fortunately, it was quickly repaired in time. Today, the gown remains one of the most admired royal wedding dresses ever created, symbolizing hope, resilience, and the start of a historic reign. While one queen relied on post-war elegance, another royal bride embraced modern fashion and captivated billions. Number 11. Kate Middleton's global fashion phenomenon. Few wedding dresses have captivated the world like the one Catherine Middleton wore when she married Prince William on April 29, 2011. Held at Westminster Abbey, the ceremony drew a global television audience of over 2 billion people, turning every detail into history. Among the many memorable moments, Kate's gown became the defining image of the day. The dress was designed by Sarah Burton, creative director of Alexander McQueen. She faced the challenge of honoring royal tradition while creating something modern and timeless. The result was a perfect blend of classic craftsmanship and contemporary elegance, widely praised by fashion experts. One of the gown's most remarkable features was its handmade lace. Artisans from the Royal School of Needlework created intricate floral patterns using traditional Carrick-Macross techniques. Each design carried meaning: roses for England, thistles for Scotland, daffodils for Wales, and shamrocks for Northern Ireland, symbolizing unity across the United Kingdom. The gown featured a fitted bodice inspired by Victorian corsetry, long lace sleeves, and a full skirt flowing into a train nearly 9 feet long. Kate paired it with an ivory silk tulle veil and the Cartier halo tiara, loaned by Queen Elizabeth II. Diamond earrings from her parents added a personal touch. The dress quickly influenced global bridal fashion. Designers embraced lace sleeves, structured bodices, and timeless silhouettes inspired by Kate's look. Even years later, bridal collections continue to reflect its impact. Kate Middleton's gown became more than a royal fashion statement. It remains one of the most influential wedding dresses ever created, proving that true elegance is timeless and never fades. Number 10. Salma Hayek's Venetian Fairy Tale. When Salma Hayek married French businessman François-Henri Pinault in 2009, the celebration reflected the elegance and sophistication of one of Hollywood's most glamorous couples. Rather than hosting a simple ceremony, they transformed their wedding into a spectacular multi-day event in Venice, Italy. Surrounded by historic architecture, winding canals, and centuries of culture, the city provided a breathtaking setting worthy of one of the world's most luxurious weddings. For the ceremony, Salma wore a custom Balenciaga gown created by acclaimed designer Nicolas Ghesquière. Known for blending modern fashion with timeless elegance, Ghesquière designed a gown that perfectly complemented both the bride and the historic surroundings. Crafted from luxurious silk in a soft ivory shade, the dress featured a graceful deep V-neck line, a fitted bodice, and a flowing full skirt that moved beautifully as Salma walked through the grand venues of Venice. The gown kind of embraced understated sophistication more than plain excess embellishment. Every seam, fold, and little detail pointed to Ghesquière's precise craftsmanship, so the quality of the design could talk for itself. I mean, really. The clean silhouette gave an effortlessly elegant appearance that stayed admired for years after the ceremony, too. And the celebrations went way beyond just the wedding day, honestly. Guests first showed up at a lavish masquerade ball, taking part in one of Venice's most famous traditions, wearing ornate masks and formal attire. The whole atmosphere mixed romance, history, and mystery, and it made an unforgettable start to the festivities. The wedding ceremony happened at the renowned La Fenice Opera House, which is one of Italy's most celebrated cultural landmarks. After the vows, everything continued at the Palazzo Grassi, an elegant palace owned by the Pinault family. The guest list included widely recognized celebrities like Penelope Cruz, Charlize Theron, Bono, and plenty of other close friends from entertainment, fashion, and business. Each location added another layer of grandeur to the moment. Historic buildings, candlelit receptions, and Venice's well-known canals all blended into something that felt almost cinematic. Salma's Balenciaga gown fit right into that whole scene, balancing modern couture with a sort of timeless elegance, not flashy, but still striking. More than a decade later, the wedding still gets talked about as one of the most memorable celebrity celebrations ever held. Between remarkable fashion, extraordinary venues, and that unforgettable Italian scenery, the event basically became a true modern fairy tale. Number 9. Kim Kardashian's Italian Showstopper. When Kim Kardashian married Kanye West in May 2014, expectations were already sky-high. The couple was famous for embracing luxury, and their wedding delivered exactly that. The celebration stretched across 2 countries, beginning with a lavish rehearsal dinner at the Palace of Versailles outside Paris before moving to Florence, Italy, where they exchanged vows inside the historic Fort de Belvedere. Every detail reflected elegance, exclusivity, and extraordinary spending. For the ceremony, Kim wore a custom Givenchy haute couture gown designed by Riccardo Tisci, one of her closest friends and the creative director of Givenchy at the time. Rather than creating a traditional royal-inspired dress, Tisci designed a modern masterpiece that balanced romance with high fashion. The gown featured long lace sleeves, delicate floral embroidery, sheer panels, and a fitted mermaid silhouette that highlighted Kim's signature style while maintaining classic bridal elegance. The open-back design gave it a contemporary feel, but also the intricate lacework sort of ran across the bodice and sleeves with this careful kind of precision. You could tell the craftsmanship was built from hundreds of hours of quiet attention, and somehow the dress ended up becoming one of the most recognizable celebrity wedding gowns of the decade. Wrapping everything up was this huge cathedral-length veil trimmed with matching lace. It looked effortless in the ceremony, but Kim later said that the veil almost turned into a problem. Because of its size and weight, it was tricky to manage, and she admitted she was concerned it might make her stumble while walking down the aisle. Thankfully, nothing really went wrong, and that dramatic veil floated behind her beautifully as she stepped out for her unforgettable entrance. The wedding itself matched the fashion energy. Guests traveled between Paris and Florence on private aircraft before arriving at a 16th-century fortress, the one overlooking the city. There were musical performances, luxurious floral arrangements, and panoramic views of Florence, so the whole celebration felt spectacular, start to finish. After the ceremony, Kim switched into a sparkling Balmain mini dress for the reception. That way she could move and dance more comfortably, but still keep the evening looking glamorous. In the end, both outfits together turned into defining fashion moments of the event. Years later, Kim Kardashian's Givenchy wedding gown is still considered one of the most famous celebrity bridal designs ever created. It captured that mix of modern couture, timeless romance, and lavish celebration that really defined one of Hollywood's most talked about weddings. Number 8, the Swarovski Crystal Masterpiece. Some wedding dresses sparkle. Victoria Swarovski's wedding gown practically glowed. When the Swarovski heiress married entrepreneur Werner Merz in Italy in 2017, expectations were naturally high. After all, she came from the family whose name is synonymous with brilliant crystals. Still, few people were prepared for the breathtaking masterpiece she unveiled on her wedding day. Designed by renowned couturier Michael Cinco, the custom gown reportedly carried a value of around $1 million. It featured an elegant fitted silhouette with long sleeves and a dramatic flowing skirt. But what truly separated it from almost every other wedding dress in history was its extraordinary decoration. The gown was covered with approximately 500,000 Swarovski crystals, creating a dazzling effect that shimmered from every angle as light reflected across its surface. There was this one drawback to all that brilliance. The dress weighed close to 100 pounds or so. Wearing it took a lot of effort, and even the smallest movements felt kinda difficult. Walking down the aisle meant she had to think ahead, while posing for photos turned into a full-on workout by itself. Still, despite all that sheer heaviness, Victoria wore the gown the whole time through the ceremony with this really calm poise. And to finish that fairy tale look, she matched it with a spectacular veil, measuring nearly 26 feet long. As it trailed behind her inside the Cathedral of San Giusto in Trieste, the whole scene sort of looked more like a royal procession than a celebrity wedding, which honestly is not what most people expect. The celebration then went on for 3 days with elegant dinners, lavish parties, and luxurious floral displays. Friends and family showed up for a sequence of events that fit right in with the glamour of the bride's unforgettable wardrobe. Years later, Victoria Swarovski's wedding dress is still one of the most recognizable crystal-covered gowns ever created. It combined high-end couture craftsmanship with that family legacy that helped the Swarovski name become famous all over the world. Of course, countless brides want to sparkle on their big day, but very few have actually worn 500,000 crystals at once. That one unusual feat made sure the gown would land in bridal fashion history. Number 7. Priyanka Chopra's hidden love story. When Priyanka Chopra married Nick Jonas in December 2018, the world expected a glamorous celebrity wedding. What few people expected was that one of the most expensive gowns ever created would also become one of the most personal. Rather than focusing only on luxury, Priyanka's custom Ralph Lauren wedding dress quietly told the story of her relationship through details that most guests never noticed. Ralph Lauren personally designed the gown for the Christian ceremony held at the magnificent Umaid Bhawan Palace in Jodhpur, India. The elegant dress featured a classic high-neck silhouette with long sleeves and intricate floral lace that blended timeless bridal style with modern couture. Thousands of tiny embellishments and Swarovski crystals added a subtle shimmer, but the true beauty was hidden much closer to the fabric. Carefully stitched all through the gown were meaningful words and symbols picked out just for the couple. The embroidery included Priyanka and Nick's wedding date, her parents' names, plus sincere lines that basically echoed their love story. Rather than making decorations simply for appearances, Ralph Lauren kind of remade the dress into a lasting treasure, crowded with deeply personal recollections, you know. And then there was the veil. Stretching to a staggering 75 feet, it became one of those defining visual moments from the ceremony. As Priyanka moved through the palace, the giant veil moved softly behind her, and it formed this stunning entrance that quickly turned into one of the most photographed scenes of the whole wedding. That dramatic length needed careful coordination, but somehow it matched the grandeur of the historic venue perfectly. The wedding itself mixed Western and Indian traditions across several days of celebration in a way that honored both families and cultures. Each ceremony brought its own customary look and different clothing choices, but the Ralph Lauren gown stayed as the focal point of the Christian wedding. Years later, the dress still stands out, not only for its extraordinary craftsmanship or the impressive price, but because it carried a story sewn directly into its fabric. Under the lace, the crystals, and that remarkable veil, there was something even more precious, a personal tribute to family, tradition, and the start of a brand new chapter together. Luxury wasn't limited to celebrities because one famous athlete transformed her wedding into a real fairy tale. Number 6. Serena Williams' fairy tale celebration. When Serena Williams married Alexis Ohanian in November 2017, she didn't simply plan a wedding. She created a modern fairy tale. Held at the Contemporary Arts Center in New Orleans, the celebration embraced a magical Beauty and the Beast theme, transforming the venue into an elegant ballroom filled with towering floral arrangements, golden decor, sparkling chandeliers, and storybook-inspired details. Every element reflected Serena's larger-than-life personality and love of unforgettable fashion. At the center of the celebration was her breathtaking wedding gown, custom designed by Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen. Burton, who also designed Kate Middleton's iconic royal wedding dress, created a spectacular strapless ball gown with a sweetheart neckline and dramatic layered skirt. The elegant silhouette highlighted Serena's athletic grace, while delivering the timeless romance expected from a fairy tale wedding. A flowing cape completed the ensemble, replacing the traditional veil with a bold, regal statement that perfectly suited the occasion. Honestly, the gown was really just the start. Serena basically treated the whole wedding like a couture, fashion show thing, switching outfits a few times during the evening. After the ceremony, she came out in this flashy, feathered Versace gown, and it gave the reception a totally new kind of energy. Later on, she changed again into a Versace dress that was shorter, so she could move around easily and toast with family and friends for hours, even when it was late. The guest list was packed with celebrities from sports, entertainment, and business, and the reception itself was all about high-end dining and pretty spectacular entertainment. One of the night's more unexpected moments happened when people noticed a full-size carousel waiting outside, so everyone could hop on for this lighthearted, whimsical ride that fit the whole fairy tale vibe. Like, every detail seemed to reflect Serena's idea of mixing elegance with something playful. Instead of staying stuck with one single unforgettable look, she leaned into multiple couture pieces, showing different moods and sides of her personality throughout the celebration. Years later, Serena Williams' wedding still gets talked about as one of the most lavish celebrity ceremonies ever. From Sarah Burton's magnificent Alexander McQueen gown to the dreamy setting shaped by classic fairy tales, the entire event felt like it was saying that real life can be just as spellbinding as the stories that inspired it. Number 5. Chiara Ferragni's wearable love letter. Fashion influencer Chiara Ferragni has built her career around style, so expectations for her wedding were enormous. When she married Italian rapper Fedez in Sicily in 2018, she delivered far more than a glamorous bridal look. Instead of relying on a single couture creation, Dior designed 2 custom haute couture gowns that together told the story of their relationship, transforming fashion into something deeply personal. For the ceremony, Chiara wore a timeless white gown created by Maria Grazia Chiuri for Dior. The elegant dress featured a fitted bodice, delicate lace sleeves, and a flowing skirt that balanced classic romance with modern sophistication. Its graceful silhouette perfectly complemented the historic surroundings of the 19th century Palazzo Nicolacci in the town of Noto, where the couple exchanged vows before family and friends. The second gown, worn during that reception, turned out to be kind of the evening's biggest surprise. Instead of only leaning on beauty, Dior kinda made the dress into what a lot of people called a wearable love letter. Soft tulle became the whole canvas, where intricate embroidery was placed with this clear idea of honoring the couple's journey together. Tucked right there among the delicate stitching were their wedding date, their initials, symbols that felt personal, and even lines from one of Fedez's songs, written especially for Chiara. And honestly, every tiny bit of it carried emotional weight, so the gown felt nothing like a traditional wedding dress. Then the celebration itself matched that same imagination. Guests landed in Sicily on a privately chartered aircraft before moving into a weekend packed with luxury and entertainment. The reception, which was also talked about a lot, had its own little amusement park, complete with a Ferris wheel, a carousel, colorful games, and fireworks that lit up the Sicilian sky. Even if both gowns showed extraordinary craftsmanship, it was that heartfelt storytelling behind the reception dress that really pulled in worldwide attention. Dior didn't just rely on expensive materials to build value. It filled the fabric with memories, meaningful symbols, and personal history, almost like a private archive you could wear. Years later, Chiara Ferragni's wedding dresses still sit among the most memorable celebrity bridal creations ever designed. They kept proving that the most meaningful luxury isn't always measured by diamonds or price tags. Sometimes the greatest masterpiece is the one that tells a love story, stitch by stitch. Number 4. The White Gold Masterpiece. Some wedding dresses are admired for their elegance. Others become famous because of their extraordinary price. The white gold diamond dress belongs in a category of its own. Created by legendary Japanese bridal designer Yumi Katsura, this breathtaking gown combines rare materials, exceptional craftsmanship, and decades of couture experience into one unforgettable masterpiece. It is widely regarded as one of the most luxurious wedding dresses ever designed. What makes the gown so remarkable is its exclusivity. Yumi Katsura created only 2 versions of the white gold diamond dress, making it one of the rarest bridal creations in the world. Rather than producing multiple copies for wealthy clients, she chose to preserve its uniqueness, ensuring that the design remained an exceptional work of wearable art. The dress is kinda distinguished by its stunning use of real white gold embroidery, woven directly into the fabric. Skilled artisans spent what feels like countless hours creating intricate floral patterns and delicate decorative details using precious metal threads instead of the usual embroidery. The result is this gown that catches light with a soft metallic glow that honestly feels different than ordinary fabrics. It's just not the same. And then, for even more luxury, the design is adorned with carefully selected diamonds and countless pearls placed throughout the bodice, the skirt, and the flowing train. Each gemstone was set by hand to create balance, without taking over the whole elegant silhouette. Rather than looking flashy, the embellishments sort of lift the gown's graceful beauty, while still showing off this remarkable attention to detail, like someone really cared. This masterpiece reflects Yumi Katsura's lifelong dedication to bridal couture. After spending decades perfecting wedding dress design, she became internationally known for combining traditional craftsmanship with newer, innovative techniques. The white gold diamond dress is basically the culmination of all that experience, blending artistic vision with extraordinary materials in a way few designers have ever matched. Even though countless expensive wedding dresses have shown up since its debut, very few actually match the combo of rarity, craftsmanship, and precious materials found in this creation. It isn't only a fashion statement, it works more like a symbol of haute couture at its highest level. It proves that true luxury comes not just from diamonds and gold, but from the unmatched skill needed to turn them into timeless elegance. Number 3. The million-dollar diamond creation. Luxury wedding dresses often rely on elaborate lace, fine silk, and expert tailoring. The Danasha luxury gown took a different approach by combining precious metals and dazzling gemstones into a single couture creation. Designed as a showcase of exceptional craftsmanship rather than everyday bridal fashion, the gown quickly earned recognition as one of the most expensive wedding dresses ever created. At first glance, the dress appears surprisingly elegant. Instead of overwhelming the eye with excessive decoration, the designers carefully balanced every luxurious element. Fine gold accents were woven throughout the fabric, creating a warm glow that complemented the gown's graceful silhouette rather than distracting from it. The precious metal served as both decoration and structure, giving the design a distinctive richness rarely seen in bridal couture. The diamonds were pretty impressive, actually. Carefully chosen stones were set across the bodice and moving throughout the gown to bring out its beauty without it looking like everything was just dumped on there. Instead of trying to cover every inch with gemstones, the designers went with a sort of strategic placement so each diamond could catch the light, but the whole thing still kept that refined feel. That little bit of restraint is what really split the Danasha luxury gown from a bunch of other extravagant creations. And yeah, every detail felt like it had taken forever. Skilled artisans worked patiently, making sure each gold thread and every diamond blended into the bigger design, not like they were just attached. The final look came together as a wedding dress that puts elegance first and luxury second. It also shows this idea that expensive materials work best when they're backed by real, careful artistry. Because of the strong build and those extraordinary materials, the Danasha luxury gown ended up becoming one of the world's most valuable bridal pieces. Its estimated price climbed well into 7 figures, which placed it among an exclusive list of dresses people admire for both beauty and rarity. Even years after it was unveiled, the gown still stands as a top-tier example of bridal couture. It proved that real luxury isn't only about adding more diamonds or more gold. It comes from knowing how to use those precious elements properly to shape something timeless, balanced, and honestly unforgettable. Number 2. The gold-threaded royal legend. Royal wedding dresses often become historic symbols, but Queen Letitia's gown stands out for its craftsmanship and timeless elegance. When Letizia Ortiz married King Felipe VI of Spain on May 22, 2004, the ceremony at Madrid's Almudena Cathedral drew global attention, with royalty, world leaders, and millions of viewers worldwide. The gown was created by legendary Spanish designer Manuel Pertegaz, whose career spanned over 50 years. Known as one of Spain's greatest couturiers, he chose classic design over trends, ensuring the dress would remain elegant for generations. Made from ivory silk, the gown featured a high-standing collar, long fitted sleeves, and a clean, graceful silhouette. Its most striking detail was the intricate embroidery crafted from real gold thread. Flowing across the collar, cuffs, and long train were delicate floral and heraldic patterns, created by skilled artisans. The gold added richness while preserving the gown's refined and understated look. The wedding gathered royals from across Europe and beyond, highlighting Spain's place among modern monarchies and turning the event into a major international occasion. Unlike more extravagant celebrity wedding gowns, Queen Letizia's dress impressed through simplicity and tradition. Every detail reflected Spanish heritage and expert craftsmanship rather than excess. Today, the gown remains one of the most admired royal wedding dresses ever made. Pertegaz created a masterpiece that honored both the bride and the monarchy, proving that true luxury lies in timeless design and exceptional skill. Yet even royal gold could not compete with the dress that still stands above every other bridal creation. Number 1. The diamond wedding gown that still holds the record. Wedding dresses have become symbols of luxury for centuries, but one creation stands above them all. While royal gowns feature priceless history and celebrity dresses showcase breathtaking craftsmanship, none have surpassed the astonishing value of the diamond wedding gown created by bridal designer Renee Strauss and master jeweler Martin Katz. With an estimated value of $12 million, it continues to hold the title of the most expensive wedding dress ever created. Unlike traditional couture gowns that rely primarily on rare fabrics and embroidery, this masterpiece was designed around extraordinary gemstones. Thousands of carefully selected diamonds were placed across the entire gown, transforming it into a brilliant display of light. Every movement caused countless stones to shimmer, creating an effect that resembled wearing an entire jewelry collection instead of a conventional wedding dress. Even with its incredible value, the designers kinda resisted making the gown look too extravagant. Renee Strauss aimed for a graceful bridal silhouette so the diamonds could lift the design rather than just blast through it. Martin Katz picked and placed every stone with care, letting the dress stay elegant while still showing off that exceptional luxury. The whole thing turned out weirdly balanced, like it proved that the world's most expensive wedding gown could still be sophisticated, not loud. The dress got noticed first during luxury bridal exhibitions, where people just gathered to admire the craftsmanship. Nobody really expected someone to actually buy such an extraordinary creation. Instead, it turned into more of a living showcase, showing what happens when haute couture and fine jewelry are blended together with basically no financial limits. More than 2 decades after it debuted, no wedding gown has officially topped its record-breaking value. Designers have made dresses with gold, rare pearls, and elaborate crystal work, but none have gone beyond the diamond wedding gown's $12 million price tag. Its reputation sticks for reasons that go past the diamonds. The gown feels like the absolute high point of bridal luxury, where fashion becomes wearable art and craftsmanship meets bold imagination. Whether it's admired as a couture masterpiece or treated like a symbol of ultimate excess, it still stands alone right at the very top of wedding dress history, a spot that stays unmatched to this day. From luxurious materials to masterful artistry and iconic legacies, wedding gowns inspire awe and ambition in equal measure. The diamond gown stands unrivaled, a shining testament to passion and craftsmanship. If you enjoyed this glimpse into bridal opulence, be sure to like and subscribe for more stories that celebrate extraordinary creations.